You feel it, don't you? That fog, that heaviness behind your eyes. You pick up your phone to check one thing, 20 minutes disappear, and you don't even remember what you opened it for. You used to be able to read a book, sit with a thought, be bored for 5 seconds without reaching for something. Now, you pause a 10-minute video to go check a different app. You get bored halfway through a text message. You watch shows on 1.5 speed with subtitles on, and you're still scrolling while you watch. Your brain feels fried, cooked, like the wires got crossed and nobody's coming to fix them. And somewhere in the back of your head, a quiet voice keeps whispering the same thing. What happened to me? So here's what I'm going to do in the next 9 minutes. I'm going to show you exactly what happened to your brain, the real mechanism, not the recycled, just delete the app, bro advice you've heard 100 times. I'm going to show you why every fix you've already tried has failed. And then I'm going to give you the actual way out. Stick with me, because by the end of this, that whisper is going to have an answer. Let's start with something uncomfortable. You're not addicted to your phone. You're addicted to about 6 things at once, and they've all wired themselves into the same socket in your brain. There's the scroll, TikTok, Reels, Shorts. The infinite feed that never ends, because it was designed to never end. There's the tab you close fast when someone walks in. There's the food that comes in a bag, lights you up for 30 seconds and leaves you emptier than before. There's the weed or the vape or the drink that takes the edge off a day you didn't even really do anything in. There's the game with the numbers that go up, the notifications, the little red dots. Any of those hit? Be honest, because it's probably not one of them, it's most of them. And here's the part nobody tells you. It doesn't matter which one is yours. They all pull the exact same lever. And that lever has a name. You've heard it. Dopamine. But almost everything you think you know about dopamine is wrong. So let me fix that right now, because this is the piece that changes everything. You think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the thing that makes you feel good. It's not. Dopamine is not about pleasure. Dopamine is about wanting. It's the chemical of the chase, not the catch. It doesn't fire when you get the thing, no, it fires when you're reaching for it. Think about it. The best part of scrolling isn't any single video. It's the half second before the next one loads, when it might be amazing. The best part isn't the meal. It's the anticipation on the walk to go get it. The pull to refresh. The loading spinner. That's where the hit actually lives. This is why you can scroll for 2 hours and feel nothing. Because dopamine was never promising you pleasure. It was only ever promising you the next thing, and the next thing, and the next, forever. You're not chasing enjoyment. You've been chasing the chase. Now here's where it gets brutal. Your brain runs on a balance. Picture a seesaw. On one side, pleasure. On the other side, pain. And your brain's number one job, above almost everything, is to keep that seesaw level. So every single time you get a hit of pleasure, every scroll, every drag, every bite, every ping, your brain does something to even it out. It tips the seesaw the other way, toward pain. That's the come down. That flat, restless, slightly worse than before feeling after you finally put the phone down. That's not random. That's the bill arriving. And here's the trap that's got you. Do it once. The seesaw tips, then slowly settles back to level. No problem. But do it again and again and again, all day, every day for years. And your brain stops bothering to reset it. It just leaves the seesaw permanently tilted toward pain. It assumes the flood is always coming, so it braces for it all the time, which means your baseline, how you feel when you're doing nothing at all, is no longer neutral. It's below neutral. It's a low, gray, itchy discomfort that only lifts when you feed it. That's the fog. That's the fried feeling. You are walking around in a self-inflicted dopamine deficit, and the only thing that touches it is more of the exact thing that caused it. You feel like you need it just to feel normal. And the horrible truth is, right now, you kind of do. So you've probably tried to fix this already. And I'd bet money you tried a dopamine detox. Delete the apps for a weekend, sit in a room, stare at a wall, reset the brain, and it didn't work. 2 days later, you were back, twice as hard. Here's why, and this is going to annoy the people who sell you those weekend detoxes. You can't detox dopamine. It's not a toxin. You literally need it to live. It's the thing that lets you get out of bed, move your body, want anything at all. People whose brains stop making enough of it can't even start a movement. That's Parkinson's. Dopamine is not the enemy. You are not trying to get rid of it. The problem was never the amount of dopamine. The problem is your sensitivity to it. Years of flooding burned the receptors out, turned the volume way down. So now it takes a scream just for you to hear a whisper. A weekend detox doesn't fix that. Not even close. And when you white-knuckle 2 days of nothing and then binge, you don't just fail. You actively teach your brain that the deprivation is temporary. so the craving comes back stronger. You weren't weak. You were using a screwdriver to fix a broken bone. So let's do it right. Here's what actually rebuilds a fried brain. 3 things. In this order. First, and this one's non-negotiable, you have to stop fighting your willpower and start fighting your environment. Because willpower is the slowest, weakest tool you own. The craving fires in a part of your brain that's fast, ancient, and does not care about your goals. Willpower fires up front, and it's slow, and it runs out. Every time you leave the phone next to your bed and promise you won't scroll, you just scheduled a fight you are going to lose at 2 a.m. So stop having the fight. Add friction. Phone charges in another room. Apps off the home screen. Better, off the phone entirely. Junk food not in the house. Make the bad thing take 5 extra steps. And watch how often future you suddenly can't be bothered. You didn't get more disciplined. You just moved the trap out of arm's reach. Second, you have to let the seesaw settle. And this takes longer than a weekend. Think weeks, not days. Roughly a month of genuinely lower stimulation before those receptors start turning back up and your baseline climbs back towards 0. But here's the part people miss. You don't just sit in an empty room doing nothing. That's misery, and misery never lasts. You replace. Every time you'd reach for the fast hit, you reach for a slow one instead. A walk, the gym, a real conversation, a book you have to actually work at, something that's boring at first and pays you back later. These give you dopamine too, just the honest kind, the kind that doesn't send a bill. Third, you have to expect the dip, because when you start, you're going to feel worse before you feel better. Days 3 through 10 are the pit. That's your brain screaming for the flood it got used to. And that feeling is not a sign it isn't working. That feeling is the exact sensation of it working. That's the seesaw grinding its way back to level. And it is supposed to hurt. Most people quit right there, 1 week in, right before the sun comes up. Don't be most people. The dip is the doorway. Because here's what's actually waiting on the other side of that month. You wake up and you don't reach for the phone first. You just lie there and it's fine. Boredom comes back. But instead of a threat, it turns into a doorway. Ideas start showing up in the quiet because you finally gave them a quiet to show up in. You read one page and then another page, and you look up and an hour is gone, and you chose that. Colors get a little brighter. Food tastes like food again. A completely normal Tuesday stops feeling gray because your baseline crawled back up to neutral, and real neutral, after years underground feels incredible. You get you back, the one from before, the one who could focus and sit still and get genuinely excited about small things. He's not gone. He was never gone. He was just buried under the flood. So that whisper, what happened to me? Here's your answer. Nothing happened to you. Something was done to you by an industry with billions of dollars and 1,000 engineers whose entire job is to keep that seesaw tilted. So you keep reaching. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're not cooked. You're just outgunned. And for the first time, you know exactly how the gun works. The apps are not going to get less addictive. Nobody is coming to fix your wires for you. The only person who's going to walk you out of the fog is the one who's been living in it. That's you. It was always you. So start with one thing today. Phone in the other room tonight. That's it. That's step 1. Your brain is not fried. It's waiting. Go get it back.